Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
And one quick tutorial, and let me tell you, the monk is not afraid to come and correct your posture.
Life with me. Each week I explore a new religion.
海外では日本人は無宗教と語られることが少なくありません。しかし実際の日本では、神道や仏教、そして八百万の神という考え方が人々の暮らしの中に自然と息づいています。祭りや季節の行事、自然への敬意の向け方など、その影響は私たちの日常のあらゆる場所に見ることができます。そんな日本独自の宗教観に触れた外国人たちは、日本人の価値観や生き方に感動し、強く惹かれています。一神教とは異なる自分自身や日常との向き合い方、そこから多くの学びや気づきを得て、その感動を SNS で発信しています。中には神道の考え方を自身のライフスタイルに取り入れるようになった人もいるほどです。今回は神道や仏教、そして八百万の神という日本独自の宗教観に触れた海外の人々の反応を通して、日本人の精神文化の魅力を見ていきましょう。日本は無宗教ではない。外国人が驚いた宗教観の真実。
Day-to-day life. Still, the two most common religions in Japan are Shintoism, which is Japan's indigenous religion, and Buddhism, which was brought over from China afterwards. But the fact remains that over 51% of Japanese people are not religious at all, which is much more than America, where only 29% of adults identify as religiously unaffiliated. And out of those, only 3.7% identify as actually atheist. Back to Japan, however, the country still has many extremely popular Shinto and Buddhist practices, and this is where it all gets kind of confusing, because approximately 79% of the Japanese population practice Shintoism and 66% practice Buddhism. However, these practices are often seen as cultural activities that strengthen and benefit the community, as opposed to a spiritual belief in a deity or deities. And now you might be saying, Wes, you are awful at math. That all adds up to 196%. And while you are correct, this makes sense because many Japanese people practice both religions simultaneously, while also not believing in a god. In fact, Shintoism and Buddhism have coexisted in Japan peacefully for over 1,000 years. Many shrines and temples will have elements of both religions within them, which I think is very cool. Like, for example, many Japanese people will visit Shinto shrines to pray for a good year on New Year's with family or friends, and most Japanese funerals are carried out according to Buddhist rituals. And many people visit shrines or temples to pray for good luck on a test or in their romantic lives or to get over a heartbreak. There can be psychological and communal strength and empowerment in these things, even if you don't believe it's logical and communal strength and empowerment in these things, even.
Are Japanese people Buddhist or Shintoists? The short answer is both. Originally in Japan there was only local beliefs. They were animalistic and they were tied to nature and ancestors, and they weren't even called Shinto yet. Then Buddhism arrived from the mainland around the 6th century, bringing philosophy, rituals, and temples. Shinto started to organize itself under the Buddhism influence. But since Shinto is more this worldly, about life, nature, and purity, Buddhism is more otherworldly, about death, suffering, and rebirth. They didn't replace each other. Instead, they split responsibilities. For example, people might go to a Shinto shrine to get a baby blessing, but go to Buddhist temple for funerals. Over the centuries, they lived in a symbiosis, even building complexes like Jingu-ji, where a shrine and a temple stood side by side. And the Japanese emperor himself is seen as a descendant of Amaterasu goddess, the sun goddess at Shinto, who is considered the main goddess in the Shinto pantheon. So that's how the imperial house is tied to Shinto religion.
8 millones de dioses. Realmente no los hay, o pues no sé, pero es la manera en que los japoneses se refieren a que lo sagrado está en todas partes. No hay un solo rincón del universo que esté vacío de espíritu. Me encanta porque, a diferencia del concepto de Dios que tenemos en este lado del mundo, en Japón un kami es más bien una esencia o energía espiritual. En Occidente yo siento que normalmente hay un enfoque más hacia la culpa, pero en esta visión japonesa el mal es simplemente una impureza que se limpia. Es una vista mucho más amable y optimista de la condición humana. Los kami pueden ser las montañas, el viento, la fertilidad o incluso una cuchara. Y por supuesto los ancestros que ya fallecieron y su memoria se honra para proteger a la familia. Se reza no para pedir milagros, sino para la protección del día a día. Me gusta este concepto de mirarlo todo con asombro, que lo más simple tiene un espíritu y que no está solo en tu entorno. Lo más mágico de los 8 millones de dioses es que no necesariamente lo sagrado está encerrado en un templo lejano, sino en el vapor de tu café, en el olor a pasto recién cortado, o en las herramientas que usas para trabajar. Nos enseña que la espiritualidad no es un evento de un momento, sino una práctica de atención constante, la belleza del ordinario. Eso es todo, amor y brillitos, Mari.
日本の宗教観を語る上で欠かせないのが、八百万の神という考え方です。山や川、木々、道具、そして日々の何気ない風景にまで神聖なものを見出す感覚は、日本人の暮らしの中に深く根付いています。だからこそ日本では神道と仏教が対立するのではなく、自然に共存しながら人々の暮らしを支えてきたのです。特別な場所だけに神がいるのではなく、身近な世界の中にも尊さを見出す。その柔らかな眼差しこそが、日本の精神文化の美しさであり、海外の人々が強く惹かれる理由です。外国人が宿坊体験を通して実感した日本の精神。そんな日本の宗教観に興味を持った外国人たちの中には、実際に座禅をはじめとする宿坊体験をした人たちもいます。
Currently staying at a Buddhist temple, and this is what my morning routine looks like. We wake up super early to get started with our practice around 6:30, so I had 2 cups of green tea to start to wake myself up, got ready, and then walked downstairs to the main hall. We start the day with a 30-minute meditation, and then we do some chanting. After that, we practice shakyo, which is tracing the scripture. Once morning practice is over, we have a rice porridge for breakfast, which I'm actually obsessed with. On that little red plate, there's sesame, salt, and pepper, and you add it to the porridge, and it's absolutely delicious. There's also pickled plum and orange on the side. In Buddhism, eating is a part of the practice, so it's something that we do silently, and it's part of the meditation as well. We also
along with me. Look how low this bridge is. Guys, I'm 5'3.5". This is the entrance.
This is something new for me, but today we were focusing on Zazen meditation. So we started with a quick tutorial, and let me tell you, the monk is not afraid to come and correct your posture. And if you feel like you're not concentrating or you're falling asleep, he will hit you with the stick. Don't worry, this is completely optional. It's just to awaken your mind and reset your thoughts.
So the monk told me I had amazing posture, which I was pleased with. Honestly, that was one of the best things I've done since I've been here.
外国人たちは厳格な仏教の修行文化を想像以上に楽しんでいたようです。誘惑が多い属性の社会を忘れて修行をするのは大変なことですが、自分の内面と向き合う時間としてポジティブに解釈されています。
Visitamos un templo budista en Ashikaga, Japón, donde aprendimos a hacer zazen, que es meditar sentados. Y lo primero que hizo el monje fue explicarnos la forma correcta de sentarnos, pero parece fácil, pero créeme, no lo es. La verdad, yo por más que lo intenté, no lo logré, es súper difícil e incómodo. Después, el monje nos enseñó su keisaku, que es la vara con la que nos pegó. ¿Pero por qué lo hizo? Te explico. Durante la meditación teníamos que pensar en quiénes somos, los objetivos y metas que tenemos, y los varazos son un recordatorio de que no nos podemos desconcentrar de nuestro camino y de nuestros objetivos. Sin duda fue una experiencia muy diferente pero interesante. ¿A ti te gustaría intentarlo?
And it was time to board a cable car up through the snow into Koyasan. Last but not least, we got on a bus before making it to the temple. The grounds of the temple were so serene. The first thing we did was take part in a meditation guided by one of the monks who lived there. As someone who's not great at meditation, I feel like I definitely learned a lot from that session. Here was the room we were staying in, and this was dinner. Now, I'm no vegan, but this plant-based dinner was one of my favorite meals I've ever had. First of all, it was almost too beautiful to eat, but then once we dug in, all the flavors were so memorable and amazing. We took our sweet time with dinner, and by that time, it was getting pretty late. They actually gave you clothing to wear at night, which was perfect for a little post-dinner walk. Now, I didn't record this part, obviously, but one interesting thing here was that the bathing facilities were public hot spring baths separated by men and women. I gave it a try, and it was pretty cool. The next morning, we woke up and had a lovely little breakfast in our room, followed by some morning yoga. And once we were done, we went to watch the temple's Goma fire ritual. The flame is supposed to represent the Buddha, burning away negative thoughts and desires. That was the last part of our temple stay, and it was for sure an experience I'll never forget.
外国人たちは宿坊体験で早朝の瞑想や度胸、写経、静かな食事、座禅、ごま炊きまでを実際に体験し、その一つ一つに戸惑いながらも深く心を動かされていました。厳格な生活や精神統一の時間を通し、自分を見つめ直す。そして儀式の炎で心を洗う。最初は宿坊体験の難しさや厳しさに戸惑いつつも、やがて静寂の中で精神と体が整っていったのです。自分を見つめ直す時間そのものが、彼らにとって忘れられない宝物になったのでしょう。外国人たちは宿坊体験で瞑想や度胸、写経、静かな食事、座禅、ごま炊きまでを実際に体験し、その一つ一つに戸惑いながらも深く心を動かされていました。厳格な生活の中で自分自身と向き合い、静寂の時間に身を置く。そしてごま炊きの炎を見つめながら、心の奥に溜まった雑念を手放していくのです。最初は慣れない体験の連続だったものの、 やがて心と体は不思議なほど整い、自分を見つめ直す時間そのものが大切な学びへと変わっていきました。その経験は帰国後も忘れられない特別な思い出になったでしょう。掃除も感謝も祈りになる。外国人が惹かれた神道の教え。
Come and organize my life with me. Each week I explore a new religion, and this week's is Shinto. It's a traditional Japanese religion that's less about worship and more about living in harmony with yourself, with nature, and with spirit. In Shinto, cleanliness is sacred. So here I am clearing out all of my makeup. That cleanliness is all about purifying the energy around you. Dirt, clutter, and disorder aren't just physical. They're considered spiritual pollution. So today I'm going through everything I own as a form of a spiritual practice, all the way down to every tiny earring. In Japanese, this idea is called harai, and it's the act of removing spiritual pollution. You might have heard of Marie Kondo's concept, does it spark joy? Where to declutter, you pick up any item and ask yourself, does it bring me joy or not? If the answer's no, you toss it. Well, Marie Kondo was actually influenced by Shinto principles. Birthday last week, and my housemates decorated my room with balloons, so popping them was something necessary today. And by doing so, I'm inviting in clarity, lightness, and presence. Well, according to Shinto anyways. There's a Shinto saying that cleanliness is a way to invite the gods. I love that because it's a reminder that the sacredness doesn't have to be far away. It's right here in the way we care for the things we already have. It wouldn't be a room clean out without finding every diary ever. Goodbye, old energy. As I explore Shinto this week, I'm learning that rituals don't need to be grand. Even something as simple as making your bed or wiping down a bench can be holy. Next job, clothes. Shinto doesn't rely on sacred texts or commandments. Instead, it asks you to tune into the divine of everyday life. They believe in kami, which are spirits that dwell in the divine of nature, ancestors, people, places, and even the quiet corners of your own home. As I chose to get rid of each item, I thanked myself for the memories that it brought. Shinto teaches that gratitude is its own form of prayer. So, there's me creating a sacred space one room at a time, bringing a bit of zen into my house.
This practice that I'm about to share with you has helped me overcome many obstacles, manifest the things that I want and need at a rapid rate, and also has helped me reach enlightenment in various areas of my life. Gives me wisdom, clarity, compassion, courage. It's been an incredible gift to be able to learn this mantra and to practice it. And so here is how it goes. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Start out with 3 slow ones, and then you can go a lot faster. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam-myoho Renge Kyo。日本の精神文化の美しさは特別な儀式だけにあるのではありません。暮らしの一つ一つを丁寧に整え、その積み重ねの中で心を清めていく。そんな価値観の奥深さが海外の人々の心にも静かに響いているのです。さらにこうした神道や日本の精神文化に関する投稿の中には、身近な人から考え方を受け継いだ外国人の体験談もありました。
Reading about the Christianization of Britain helped me understand my grandmother better. My grandmother was raised Shinto, which is an animistic belief system originating in Japan. It incorporates a lot of ancestor and nature worship, along with a belief in spirits that can inhabit inanimate objects. So while things like rivers, mountains, and trees can have spirits, so can man-made objects like dolls. Shintoism was the state religion of Imperial Japan where my grandmother grew up. My grandmother started secretly attending a Christian church as a teenager in post-war Japan. I asked her why, and she said she just found it interesting. She has been very much about Jesus for my entire life, but there are still some holdovers from her Shinto roots. My grandmother keeps up with the Shinto practice of shrines for deceased family members, specifically my aunt who died in infancy, my younger sister, and my grandfather. My grandmother also observes certain New Year and holiday traditions that originated in Shintoism. But my grandmother doesn't see these practices and traditions as being at odds with her current Christian beliefs, even though some of our family members do. My grandmother treats these things more as cultural practices than spiritual practices, which in old spiritual practices is not necessarily a sign of rebellion against new spiritual practices. And even when conversion is completely voluntary, it doesn't mean that old traditions and beliefs will be completely abandoned.
神道は世界的に見ると少数派で、 謎めいた印象を持たれています。特に神の捉え方は、一神教に慣れ親しんだ人々からは解釈が難しいと感じられることも少なくありません。実際に海外ユーザーの投稿の中には、間違った神道の歴史や解釈が語られているものもありました。その投稿からは、いかに神道の解釈が難しく、奇妙であるかが伺えます。
Shintoism, you might have heard about it, it's a religion. They devote their life to this religion. It originated in Japan. We don't know who created that religion. There is no single book on earth that will say, okay, this is where it was originated and who was the leader. We don't know. Anthropologists don't know. Forensic analysis don't know. Nobody knows, but it existed for millennium. But a person or the leader that propound this religion is Yamaguchi Shinto. He was the one that raised that religion up. Is there? People are subscribing to it.
この投稿で紹介された山口神道は神道とは全く関係ない人物で、歴史文献のどこにも名前は存在しません。どこからか聞いた話や本から間違った情報が言い伝えられていたのです。それだけ神道は世界的に見てマイノリティかつ一神教とは異なる歴史と神秘があると言えます。次に SNS などの海外の人々のコメントを見ていきましょ
う。俺も日本は無宗教の国だって聞いてたけど、実際は全然違うよな。日本人と仲良くなると神様や自然をすごく大切にしてるのがわかる。でもじゃあ何の宗教を信仰してるのって聞くと、みんなってなるんだ。日本は説明を聞くより実際に体験した方が早い国だと悟ったよ。
神様が森や川だけじゃなく、コーヒーの湯気や道具にも宿るなんて素敵な考えだわ。だからこそ身の回りのものを大切にできるし、食べ物にも感謝できるんでしょうね。
神道と仏教っていう別の宗教が共存してるって人類の歴史的に珍しくないか。同じ国で別の宗教が存在することはあるけど、2つの宗教が平和的にコラボするのは日本人の懐の深さを感じる。
お正月は神道で、お葬式は仏教でお別れするって聞いて面白いと思ったわ。普通は宗教を統一するよね。日本人ってすごく柔軟な生き方をしているのね。
座禅なんて静かに座るだけだろって甘く見てたんだけど、体験してみたら足は痛いし、綺麗な姿勢を保つのも辛くなってきて死ぬかと思ったよ。精神の修行という意味がよくわかったよ。
日本のお寺の修行って軍隊みたいな厳しい訓練を想像してたんだけど、実際はどちらかといえば心を整えるための修行なんだよね。世間から離れて自分や人生を見つめ直すの。もちろん座禅とかは厳しいけど、精神が整っていく感じがして心が晴れるのよ。ちなみに頭は丸めなくて大丈夫よ。
精進料理しか食べられないって聞いて、正直もっと質素な食事を想像してたんだ。でも実際はナチュラルですごく美味しい料理だった。健康的になった気がしたよ。食事って大切だと思ったよ。
炎で雑念を焼くって発想が新鮮で素晴らしいと思ったわ。座禅とか瞑想ってちょっと集中するのが大変で難しいのよ。自分の力で雑念を捨てて心を鎮めないといけないから。でも炎が目の前にあるなら集中しやすい気がするわ。
日常の振る舞いにまで宗教観が影響しているなんて驚いたよ。日本人が真面目で清潔好きだと言われる理由もこういう価値観と関係しているんじゃないか。俺すごいところに気がついちゃったかも。
神道を調べると謎がたくさんあるけど、日本人の価値観とか人柄を知ると理解できる気がするわ。それにすごく惹かれる。人生を生きる上での教えとしても、自分を見つめ直す上でも手がかりになるなって思った。
日本の神道や八百万の神の考え方が海外の人々を引きつけるのは、特別な教義よりも日々の生き方そのものに精神性が息づいているからでしょう。いただきますと手を合わせることや、身の回りの掃除、自然や物に感謝を向けることも、すべてが祈りに近い行為として受け止められています。外国人たちは宿坊体験や神道の実践を通して、その静かな美しさに心を動かされていました。暮らしを丁寧に生きること自体が尊い。そんな日本ならではの価値観が、今世界の心をそっと照らしているのです。皆様はどう思いますか？皆様からの温かいコメントや高評価は何よりの励みとなっております。またチャンネル登録よろしくお願いいたします。今回の動画は以上となります。最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。